Mm. Okay, the lesson that we're going to discuss for this meeting is the topic, the statistical treatment. Okay, lesson objectives. At the end of the lesson, the students can discuss the commonly used statistical tools in quantitative research and design appropriate statistical treatment for the study. By the way, am I audible? Okay akong audio. Okay. Statistical treatment, it is the culmination of the long process of formulating a hypothesis, constructing the instrument, and collecting data. It is used to properly test the hypothesis, answer the research questions, and present the results of the study in a clear and understandable manner. So basically, when we say statistical treatment, it is the procedure of applying method and analyzing your data. So in quantitative study, statistical treatment is necessary since you are dealing with numerical data. Since mag-conduct mo og survey, you have research instrument, then you have respondents to answer, then you are dealing with numbers. When you analyze those numbers, you need statistical treatment. Right? The right statistical treatment for your research depends on your statement of the problem. So since your data is needed in order to um, answer your statistical treatment, or sorry, your statement of the problem. So that's the problem that you need to answer uh, when you investigate the research. So kailangan you need to come up with the right statistical treatment so that the right analysis, you can come up with the right analysis sa inyong research. Okay. So your statistical treatment should be correct in order to answer your statement of the problem. Okay, statistics is the body of knowledge and techniques used in collecting, organizing, presenting, analyzing, and uh, interpreting data. It is prerequisite in any research that has a sufficient knowledge of various statistical techniques. So statistics, this is the discipline uh, that needed in quantitative research since as what I have mentioned earlier, you are dealing with quantified data. So we will be able to analyze uh, from our representatives or respondents by applying statistics to it. And then there are two branches of statistics. We have descriptive and inferential. Say this, by the way, nag-stat na ba mo sa na ba mo stat subject? Grade 11, no?
Grade 11, sir.
So I assume you already have background knowledge about statistics. So when we say descriptive statistics, it involves tabulating, depicting, and describing the collected data. The data are summarized to reveal overall data patterns and make them manageable. So basically, when you say descriptive statistics, it is useful because it allows you to take a large amount of data and then pwede mo siya ma-summarize. Uh, it is also usually applied in descriptive type of statement of the problem. Kapag yung study is descriptive study lang or mga descriptive correlational, pag may statement of the problem that requires descriptive lang siya, pwede siya, ang statistics na gagamitin is descriptive type. Like for example, yung question na, what are the personality traits of grade 12 students? What are the multiple intelligences of grade 12 students? So that type of statement of the problem, you only need descriptive statistics since you're going to tabulate, you're going to summarize the data. And we also have inferential statistics. It involves making generalizations about the population through a sample drawn from it. It is also includes hypothesis testing and sampling. Similarly, it is concerned with a higher degree of critical judgment and advanced mathematical modes such as parametric, interval and ratio scale, and non-parametric, nominal and ordinal statistical tools. So in inferential statistics, it is useful in terms of making predictions, testing hypotheses, testing significant relationships of research variables. So it answers correlational type of statement of the problem. Like, for example, is there a significant relationship between math anxiety and academic performance? So that kind of statement of the problem needs siya ng inferential statistics. So although it's different itong descriptive at saka inferential, but related sila. Since ang inferential statistics, before ka maka-come up um, or before ka maka-test og hypothesis, before you can test relationships, you'll be needing descriptive statistic first. Kaya yung mga tawagan ni mga study na more than 2 yung variables, like halimbawa, yung math anxiety at saka academic performance, needs sa nimo og descriptive type of analysis before you can infer relationship between math anxiety and academic performance. Like halimbawa pod katong ila Dave na digital literacy skills and software design preferences. So kailangan man nimo og descriptive first before para ma-analyze nimo ang literacy skills, ang level og ang software design preferences. So kailangan nimo descriptive sa. So ang inferential dira mosulod na siya if you're going to correlate these two variables. Then levels of measurement of variables. So measurement of variables is the method of gathering the data or information that you need to measure. So the method of measuring your data depends on your research variable. So mag-vary siya. Depende sa variables sa inyong research. Okay, in statistics, nominal data, or also known as nominal scale, is a type of data that is used to label variables without providing any quantitative value. It is the simplest form of scale of measure. So when we say nominal data, it means there is no quantifiable value since you are just going to label the answers of your respondents. Okay, for example, ito, what is your gender? So, like, male or female ba? Depende sa options. And what is your hair color? Where do you live? So, you cannot, there's no quantifiable value in this type of question. Since i-label lang ninyo. Dili mag-rate or dili mag-rank. Mo ni ang nominal data. Okay, next is ordinal data. These are attributes of variables that can be placed as one is higher than two. They can be used for ranking purposes. They are mostly used in Likert scaling. So, ordinal data is used if the data in your variables should be scaled or should be ordered according to rank. So, your respondents should judge themselves based on the questions or items or statement in the questionnaire and assign their judgment to the equivalent number or rank. Okay, example, how do you feel today? Your rank mo siya. How satisfied are you with your service? So mostly sa inyo ha, mag-employ og ordinal data. Ang questions na nagagather og ordinal data. So I think runs man yata to na study since you're going to identify ano po din ang male o female at saka age bracket. So both nominal and ordinal data inyo ha. Like for example, kini. Pakita na ko sa inyo ha. Ay, sa man ni. Kung na-zoom man ni. Wait lang, dali na lang. Be. Ay, naman ni. Hmm. Sige, kulangan ilahang ano. Asa man to? Akin eh. For example, this statement of the problem. What is the demographic profile of the customers in Gmail Bahara in terms of the following? Sa sex at saka sa age. So this is specific statement of the problem, nag-require siya og nominal data lang. It's because you're just going to categorize or label yung respondents according sa sex or sa age. No need, this type of statement of the problem uh, does not ask the respondents to rate or rank or mag-scale sila. Pero ito, like what are the perception and color of the respondents in terms of packaging, graphic design, advertisement. So dili na sila na statement of the problem mag-require og ordinal data. Kay mag-rate og ma-rank naman ang ano respondents. Excuse me. Hmm. Then we have interval data. These are attributes of variables where the distance from one number to the other has a meaning. So when we say interval data, pag kanang sa kanang mag-check og temperature, like for example, every 3 hours, you need to check the temperature of the same person. So the degree or the temperature na makuha nimo from that person or mo na tinatawag na interval data. Wait lang guys ha. So the classic example of an interval scale is Celsius temperature because the difference between each value is the same. For example, the difference between 60 and 50 degrees is a measurable 10 degrees, as is the difference between 80 and 70 degrees. Itong interval data is needed when you measure something according to its assigned point. So you're going to measure the same variable using the same instrument in different time but in the same distance. So which means that halimbawa ang if ako yung subject na kuhaan og data. So when you get a data gikan sa kuha, so you're going to use the same research instrument. Like for example, thermometer. You need to get my body temperature. So yung instrument is yung thermometer. And I am the person na kailangan ninyo or subject, kailangan ninyo makakuha og data. So, the same siya og distance, which means that since interval man siya, every 2 hours or every 3 hours ba ang inyong ano. The same person, the same instrument, the same distance, but the same uh different time. Okay, interval scales are nice because the realm of statistical analysis on these data sets opens up. Okay, for example, central tendency can be measured by mode, median, or mean. Standard deviation can also be calculated. So in statistical treatment, you will usually encounter these terms, itong mode, median, or mean, because these are the most commonly used na treatment when it comes to measuring, analyzing the data. Okay, common statistical tools. We have descriptive statistics. Descriptive statistics are brief descriptive coefficients that summarize a given data set, which can be either a representation of the entire or a sample of population. So as what I have mentioned earlier, descriptive statistics are used to describe variables and summarize the data. First, we have frequency distribution. It is the record of the number of individuals or cases located in each category on the scale of measurement. So in frequency distribution, you just have to count the number on the assigned indicator or factor or number of people according to their characteristics. We also have proportion. It is the total frequency divided by the number of cases in each category. It can be derived from the frequency of distribution. So a proportion refers to the fraction of the total that possesses a certain attribute. Like for example, sa 30, you have 30 respondents. 15 of those 30 respondents are male and 15 of those 30 respondents are female. We also have percentage. It is the proportion expressed in percentage. So the number or ratio expressed in a fraction of 100. Okay. Show you example. Mm. So, okay. This is an example of um, frequency distribution at saka proportion. Related lang ning frequency distribution o proportion. So for example, sa proportion, 15 there are 15 male respondents out of 30 overall respondents. There are 15 female respondents out of 30 respondents. So, ano naman siya, gi-assign siya according sa gender. Sa frequency distribution naman, ito, ay, happy. Ito. Frequency distribution. Just have to count the number na naka-assign sa anang indicator or factor or number of persons or respondents according sa characteristics. Halimbawa, itong visual learning styles ito na study. These are the learning styles. Ito yung frequency naman. So, which means that sa total, I think Pila kinilang total gani? Wait lang ha. Pila ni sila ka-respondents? 30. So out of 30 respondents, 13 respondents are visual learners. Out of the 30 respondents, there are 4 sensitive learners. So muna siyang frequency. So mo po siya ang percentage. So i-divide kung lang nimo siya ang i-divide the frequency, i-divide sa total number of respondents. So I think kabalo na mo ana. Okay, example of percentage. So this is the statement of the problem we're in, percentage yung kailangan. Okay, what is the demographic profile of the elementary pupils in terms of age, civil status, religion? So this type of statement of the problem need pod siya og kanang sa frequency distribution kasi i-categorize man ninyo, i-summarize ninyo according sa age, civil status, or religion kung pila ka buok according sa age bracket. And you also need proportion, pila ka buok. Out of how many out of the total respondents, how many respondents ang civil status kay single or marriage, or ang age kay nasa 15 to 20, nasa 21 to 25. And measures of central tendency. It describes the center position of distribution for a data set. A person analyzes the frequency of each data point in the distribution and describes it using the mean, median, or mode, which measures the most common patterns of the analyzed data set. When we say measures of central tendency, it is a summary of statistics that represents the center point or typical value of data set. So these measures indicate where most values in distribution fall and also are referred to as a central location of distribution. So ito yung mean, median, and mode. Muna siyang pinaka-common na ginagamit sa research. So we have mean, median, and mode. When you say mean, the arithmetic average is used for continuous data, which means yung mean, you're going to analyze the average. Say median, a value that splits the data two halves, that is, one half of the data is smaller than that number and other half larger, may be used for continuous or ordinal data. The median, you're going to arrange on the data set from highest to lowest, then you need to determine yung pinaka-center niya. And then also mode, this is the category that has the most data. As the description implies, it is used for categorical data. Itong mode, you need to determine yung most frequently occurring data. So we'll show you ha. Mag-open ko Excel. Open name. Okay. Maklaro ang Excel.
Wala na share screen, sir.
Wala na screen share. Wait lang. Kaganiya katong PDF nakita ninyo. Wala pod.
No, wala nakita, sir.
Sa PDF?
Oh.
Ay, kabuang.
PowerPoint nakita.
Sa mukha, oy. Sige, sabon ako to ha, katong PDF na akong gipakita. Wala man mo nag-ingon sa mukha ninyo. Wait lang. Asa ganito. Nakalimutan ko asa tong PDF. Which part sa PDF na makita ang PDF.
Sir.
Sa mukha ninyo, wala man mo nag-ingon.
Oh,
Or
nag-ingon sir.
follow man ka to ninyo. Follow ninyo.
man sir.
Pagtarong ba? I think ano yata to sa mode frequency og frequency distribution proportion og ano yata ni dere percentage. Wait lang. Sa gani ni. Kini makita gyapon PDF
Sir.
naa. Okay. Balik ko na ko ha. Okay. For example, this statement of the problem. What is a demographic profile of the customers in Gmall Bahara in terms of the following? Yung sex, tsaka age. Kailangan siya og call that frequency distribution, percentage, tsaka proportion. Kasi pag i-present na ninyo ang data na sa results and discussion, ani ang itsura niya. So, mo ni siya. So, there are 30 respondents sa kining study. So, ang proportion ani, out of the 30 total respondents, there are 15 male. And out of the 30 respondents, there are 15 female respondents. So, pila ka portion ang female, pila pod ka portion ang male. Ano siya? So, ang percentage, pila man ang percentage ani sa male. So, 50% siya. So, given na siya. Sa frequency distribution, halimbawa kini, learning styles ang study. Makita ninyo ang PDF?
Yes, sir.
Okay, halimbawa, out of the 30 respondents, 13 respondents kay visual learners. So, makita ninyo diri, these are the learning styles. Diri na portion. So, muna ang frequency, muna yung percentage. So, there are 13 visual learners. There are 4 sensitive learners. There are 2 reflector learners. So, makita po yung percentage diri. So, ana pag-present sa data? Pag in ato nga klase nga statement of the problem. So, sa mean, mode, og median, halimbawa, sa mean, kuhaon na nimo ang average. Halimbawa, mo ni imong data, nakuhaan og kanang average or mean. Kini siya. Pagkuhaan na, dali lang. Ato ka sa toolbar ba tawag ani, or formula bar. Ano ba to? Yeah, average. Click lang niyo yung cells kung asa ang data. Enter. So, muna ni ang average ninyo, mean. So, ano lang pagkuha sa mean. When you say median, ang central tendency niya, ang middle sa data set. Okay, wait lang ha. Excuse me. Halimbawa sa grades. Nga kong sample ha. Ano man ni? Mm. Kaya halimbawa, mo ni ang data set ninyo. Sa pagkuha sa median, kailangan i-arrange sa ang data from lowest to highest. So, i-sort sa nato. So, yung pag-sort. So, pila man ni kabuok data? 1, 2, 15. So, tama ba? 1, 2, 3. So, meaning, ang median niyo dire is ang 91. So, dali ra kay, mo yung pinakasayon nga, ano nga, statistical treatment, ang median. Pag kwaon naman ninyo ang, i-check na ninyo ang middle na data. So, i-arrange na ninyo first. For example, kung odd number siya, dali ra siya kwaon. Pero pag even ga siya, halimbawa na ay 95 po dire. So, ang tunga ani, 16 ang 8. Ka 9. Mo ni ang middle. Tama ba? So, pagkuha ani, kuha na yung average. So, meaning mo ni ang median. Same sa 91. And then sa mode, i-check yung most frequently occurring data. Halimbawa, unsa nga grade ang pinakadaga nag-occur. Balik-balik. Like, halimbawa, 91. So, tulo ang mode sa 91. 3. So, since 91 man ang pinakadagan, muna ninyong mode. Ana lang siya. Asa na? Hmm. Okay, example sa statement of the problem na weighted mean ang kailangan. What is the level of effectiveness of information, education, and communication in the awareness of students considering the following variables? Sa inyo ha, mostly sa inyo weighted mean lang man ang kailangan. Katong ilarans lang ang kailangan og tugong by bracket man yung age, 'di ba? Og ang
Yes, sir.
kailangan to siya og kanang frequency distribution, proportion, og percentage. Okay, what is
Yes,
the
sir.
level of performance of the engineering students in their licensure examination? So, the rest sa inyo, weighted mean ang gamiton. Then we have variability. See, variability refers to the spread of the scores within a distribution. Along with the central tendency, it helps in understanding the data set as a whole. So there are 4 types, tong range, interquartile range, variance, and standard deviation. Okay, when we say variability, it refers to the summary measures to describe the amount of variability or spread in the set of data, meaning kung unsa kakatag ang ano ba ang data ninyo based sa answer sa respondents, kung unsa ka spread out, or for example sa grade, variability refers to kung unsa kakatag ang grades, meaning unsa ang difference kadako or kagamay sa difference sa grades among the students, manang variability. So we have range. We say range, difference between the largest and smallest values of set of values. So in quartile, di kay ko familiar, pero nagian na mo ni sa mo ang assessment of statistics dati na subject. In quartile, familiar mo sa kana mga percentile like na Q1, na Q2, Q3. Yeah, nagian ninyo sa yung stat. So, mauna siyang in quartile range. Percentile na ano. Tapos, we have the variance. It measures how far a data set is spread out. It is mathematically defined as the average of the squared differences from the mean. Ang sa variance, like for example, um, lang ha. Open kog Excel. Hmm. Maklaro ang ano, ang sa tawagan niyo ay ang screen. Ako lang sa stop. Di lang ako sa itong pangitaon na. Hmm. Asa man to eh. Hmm. Hindi ko makita ang sample. Proceed na natin anyway, di bitaw ni ano. We also have standard deviation, a measure of how the average score deviates or spreads away from the mean. Itong standard deviation, like kung unsa ka taas or unsa ka mubo ang difference sa answer sa respondents. Kaya halimbawa, nato dire. Hmm. Kaya halimbawa, kini nga set of data. Para makuha ang standard deviation ng SD, saan ganito ha? STD. Kini. Click nimo ang cell. So, muni. Muni siya ang, tawagan ni Oy, this is the number wherein it signifies kung unsa ka gamay ang difference sa answer sa respondents based sa kini nga data. So dili kay dako ang iyang standard deviation kay most close lang man ang answer. So mostly 4 og 3 lang man ang answer sa respondents. Gamay ra pod ang iyang standard deviation. Examples of for measures of variability. Okay, how varied are the scores of the senior high school students in their final examination? So, in this specific type of statement of the problem, you need to get the date, the grades or the scores of uh, the respondents sa ilang final examination. Then you need to analyze kung unsa ka lagyo ang difference nila or unsa ka duol ang difference sa scores. And we also have inferential statistics. So as what I have mentioned earlier, say inferential statistics, it is used to make predictions, test hypotheses, or test relationships. So nagagamit siya og parametric test o non-parametric test. Okay, for parametric test, sa parametric test, ginagamit siya pag ang sample size kay more than 30, sa non-parametric pag less than 30 siya. First is we have t-test. Oftentimes, we are interested in knowing whether or not the means of two independent groups are truly different or of to be observed difference merely occurred by chance. So, say ang parametric test na t-test, it is a type of inferential statistics used to determine if there's a significant difference between means of two groups which may be related in certain features. So, pag comparative yung study, t-test yung gamit pag mag-compare og variables. Okay, for example, how insignificantly different is the performance of private institutions compared to that of governmental institutions? So, in this SOP, i-compare ang performance sa private institutions o sa government institutions. So, in order to analyze the difference, kailangan maggamit og t-test. So what is the significant difference brought about by anesthesia on the length of time it takes for a patient to fall asleep? We also have z-test. It is a statistical procedure used to test an alternative hypothesis against a null hypothesis. So z-test, it is used to determine whether two population means are different when the variances are known and the sample size is large. We also have f-test. Is any statistical test in which the test statistic has an F distribution under the null hypothesis. So usually, sa between t-test, z-test, o f-test, sa ako na-encounter pa lang na research na gamit o ginani nga test, usually t-test ang ginagamit. Example for F-test, one-way ANOVA. What is the significant difference in the weights of newly bred animals in the 4 different cages? For two-factor ANOVA, how significantly different are the 3 instructional methods of teaching research to 4 groups of students? Factor analysis. What are the factors affecting the productivity of employees and textile factories in Clark Freeport Zone? And we also have Pearson product moment correlation. So, ginagamit tong Pearson pag when you want to test relationships between variables. So, mga correlational studies, usually Pearson ginagamit. Okay, the correlation coefficient is a single number that represents the degree of relation between two variables. So, pag, like for example, tong math anxiety and academic performance, pwede Pearson ang gamiton para ma-identify ang level of relationship sa duha ka variables. What is a significant relationship between the pre-test and post-test scores of accounting students in their qualifying examinations? What is a significant difference between the evaluation of the supervisor and the students? We also have simple linear regression. Okay, by mathematical convention, the two factors that are involved in a simple linear regression analysis are designated x and y. The equation that describes how y is related to x is known as the regression model. Okay, itong simple linear regression, it is a statistical method that allows to summarize and study relationships between two continuous variables. Okay, halimbawa, what is the level of practicum performance of students as compared to their academic performance? We also have multiple regression. It's an extension of simple linear regression. It is used when we want to predict the value of a variable based on the value of 2 or more variables. So mas daghan ang variables na gina-deal sa multiple regression compared sa simple regression. Okay, we have non-parametric test. So the chi-square statistic is commonly used for testing relationships between categorical variables. Okay, ang chi-square, ginagamit ni siya when you use or when we test hypothesis. Kaya ang chi-square, nag-compare siya the size, any discrepancies between the expected results and the actual results. Halimbawa, ani katong study nga, wait lang. Kini nga study. Ay. Wait lang. Kini nga study, chi-square ang gamit ani nila. Sa ganito nga study. I-analyze nila if there's difference between the perceived task difficulty and the actual difficulty sa performance task. Kamo yata ang ano ani ang respondents. So i-measure niya ang, for example, kamo respondents ano, diba? Namoy perceived task difficulty before ninyo gi-conduct ang before niyo gibuhat ang performance task na gina-require sa inyo ha. And then, after ninyo nabuhat ang performance task, gikuha na pod ninyo kung unsang actual difficulty. Bale, mahulog na siya'y pre-test o post-test. So, kini nga study, gi-determine if there's significant difference sa katong hunahuna ninyo na unsa kalisod o sa actual experience ninyo. Gani kung unsa kalisod ang task. So, chi-square ang gamit ani para makita ang significant difference. And we have Spearman's rank order correlation. It is non-parametric version of the Pearson product moment correlation. Okay. Similar ni siya sa Pearson. Nagakuha sila og kanang correlational. Gina-determine nila if there's significant relationship between the variables, kung saan variables sa study. Pero, specific situation na mas gamit ang Spearman rank. Actually, sa most studies na ginagamit, Pearson ang ginagamit. Pero naka-attend ko og kanang tawag ani og kanang seminar regarding statistics. Ang speaker niingon siya na Spearman dapat ang ginagamit kapag ordinal data. Like halimbawa sa study ninyo, ordinal data ang ginagamit, kato nag-correlational sa inyo ordinal data. Kailangan Spearman siya, nakalimot ko ang explanation niya. Basta mas appropriate na gamiton ang Spearman rank kay ordinal data ang ginadeal ninyo. So, kato nag-correlational sa inyo, pero katong Dave lang yata ng study na correlational study, Spearman rank dapat ang gamiton ninyo. Pero sa katong math anxiety, I think Pearson yata ang gamit dapat ninyo. So mo nang difference sa inyo ang duha. Although same correlational pero lahi ang inyong gamiton nga statistical treatment. For example, how does the number of hours spent for reviewing significantly relate to the licensure performance? Okay, the test is used for either ordinal variables. Okay, as what I have mentioned, ordinal ang data na ginadeal pag Spearman rank. So that's the end of our discussion. So now may question regarding sa 11:51 naman din. So now may question. So katong mga nag-study, descriptive lang ang study, ang gamiton lang ninyo is mean. Meaning kuhaon na ninyo ang average. And then, sa descriptive, dili na pod ninyo need mag-include og tawag ano hypothesis. Ang need lang mag-include og hypothesis katong nag-correlational studies like ila Dave og ila Reven. Need to siya hypothesis. Pero itong descriptive studies lang, no need na mag-include og null hypothesis. Pero katong nag-comparative study sa inyo harans, di ba, compare ninyo ang if na significant difference sa gender o sa age bracket, kailangan niyo null hypothesis.
Okay, sir.
I-check lang tong sample nila nila John Ray. Ito akong gihatag sa inyo ha.
Okay, sir.
So katong mga nag-correlational, like halimbawa inyo Dave, ang gamito ninyo is mean o Spearman rank correlation.
Okay, sir.
Kuon pa man ninyo dapat ang ang average sa per variables. Sa inyo ha po, Reven, mean o Pearson ang inyong gamiton. Pero sa pagkuha sa data katong academic performance, no need to use statistical treatment kay given naman daan ang data. Bali ang bahala na si Ma'am Yani mag-analyze. Sa mean, kailangan ninyo katong sa i-determine ang level sa math anxiety. Kailangan makuha ang average. Okay, are we clear? So, mo to siya. Napa may question? Clarification? Kung wala na, I think that's it. 11:53 na. So, that's the end of our discussion. I'm going to end the conference. Thank you for listening, guys. Bye. See you tomorrow.